Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another review. This time I am reviewing the show The Pitt on Max, HBO Max, whatever you want to call it. I apologize. It seems like I'm doing all these reviews of these shows as this season is ending. It's not intentional. It's just I'm late to get to watch the shows and I binge it and it turns out it's the last episode of the show. But anyway, let's dig into this show, The Pitt. For those that don't know, it's called The Pitt because it follows a group of doctors in the ER in the trauma medical center of a Pittsburgh hospital, and it's the very bottom of the hospital, so they call it The Pit. And the kind of theme of the show is it kind of highlights the struggles that healthcare workers and nurses and doctors, etc., go through with underfunded hospitals. There's not enough hospital beds. All this shit they have to deal with. The waiting rooms are overflowed, and they're not paid adequately. So when I first saw the show released, I was like, I'm sure it's a good show, but it's not really a show that I have interest in. I've never really taken an interest in the medical shows. I don't really like seeing people get cut open and stuff. It's not for the faint of heart. It's very anxiety filled. I don't like it. I also just thought, what's the difference between this show and Grey's Anatomy and ER and House and all these other basic shows? I like watching shows that are unique. And the answer to that is this show is unique in the sense that each episode takes place an hour of their shift. So there's 15 episodes in the season. It starts at 9 a.m. and ends at 9 p.m. or whatever. Or 7 a.m., 9 p.m. Sorry, not very good at math. And this kind of follows the same script as another show I liked, which was 24, which came out in the mid-2000s, starring Kiefer Sutherland. He was the head of the counterterrorism unit, and there was 24 episodes in a season, 24 hours of a day. Each episode was an hour in the day, so on and so forth. So I was like, okay, this is a unique thing in a sense of the way they formatted it. And the thing I like about this show is that every single moment is filmed in the hospital. There is no okay, here's Monday and Tuesday, we follow the characters home, so on and so forth. It's just from one patient to another, constant hectic, it feels like you're in the hospital. This is what they go through. And the reason I like that is because it doesn't really allow you as a viewer to really breathe. It's just constant shit, one after another. They'll get one patient, it'll be something as simple as a rash, or they're drunk, or whatever, and then they'll have somebody come in and it's okay, a 6-year-old girl's drowning and she's dying. So it really shows you the realistic side of the ER. And like I said, it doesn't really allow you as an audience member to breathe. And it honestly feels it's not, but it makes it feel like the entire show is recorded in one shot because it takes place in one setting, the hospital, the entire time. Now, despite not being able to show us any of the characters' homes or their families or anything, the show still does a great job of character development. Even through the interactions that the doctors have. We learn things about the characters, about, why they, one of the characters practices medicine because she has an autistic sister. Another one does it because her mother is a surgeon, so on and so forth. And we learn about their personal lives. Some of their kids end up showing up to the hospital. So they still do a good job of character development, despite, every episode taking place inside the hospital in one setting. Other shows could take note of that. Severance. Sorry. So I really like that aspect of the show. And I'm not a doctor, obviously, and I haven't watched other medical shows, but I'd say this show, and I've seen other people who are doctors analyze this show on YouTube and say it's probably the most accurate medical show of all time. And obviously, I don't have an expert opinion, but I probably agree just by the pure chaos involved in it, the constant, patient to patient, and also because, in other hospital shows, they'll, sit a person down and be like, You've been diagnosed with this. You have 3 months to live. Blah blah blah. This show is much more realistic in the sense that sometimes doctors don't even know. There's multiple instances where like a girl or a guy comes in and it's like, okay, we have to intubate you. Blah blah blah. You have this. Oh, their heart stopped beating. What's happening? No, we got this wrong. We have to do this. So it's like even the doctors who are trained better than anybody make mistakes, and it's like, oh, we thought you were sick with this. It turns out you were sick with this, and they have to just constantly think on the fly, to save the patient. Another thing that I find interesting is, and I've seen other people say this is accurate as well, is the banter the doctors have with each other. It almost seems like that sometimes, like, a doctor from one department and a doctor from another department are kind of like fighting, and it's like, you need to do this on this patient. And the other person's like saying, like, no, trust me, you're going to kill this patient. You need to do this. And it's almost like they're rooting for the patient to get sicker so they can say they're right. And that just like stood out to me. It's like very odd. But I guess, I don't know. Doctors, they're very competitive and full of themselves. I don't know. I just thought that was weird. Another thing is I never realized that these people are dying, and the doctors, the residents, the doctors that haven't completed their residency and aren't full-time doctors, you could be dying, and a person who's not fully a doctor is like doing the spinal tap on you as practice. It's kind of crazy. It's like if I'm in a hospital like dying, I want somebody who's been trained to do this, been a doctor for like 40 years doing this, not like a 26-year-old who's like, this is her first time sticking a needle in somebody and she might pass out. Like, so I thought that was interesting. I love all the characters. They're all very good actors. Noah Weil, I'm not really familiar with his work, but he's probably the most known character. He was originally in ER with George Clooney and all them. Never got to watch that show. Probably going to watch it at some point. Although, as far as great as this show is, again, I don't like seeing people cut open. I don't like seeing a woman deliver a baby and the baby's head getting stuck in the lips of, whatever. But, so it's a great show, but it's also not enjoyable to watch on like a relaxation scale. It definitely won't be a show where you're like looking on your phone throughout it. But yes, you'll be captivated by it. But it's not usually my genre of show, but I really like it. Now, is it the best show on TV? Probably not. I'd probably have to say Paradise is right now on Hulu. Didn't get a chance to review that, but maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know. But The Pitt is a very, very good show. And it has been renewed for season 2. So a good show with a good message. Does a great job of captivating the audience and capturing what it is like being a healthcare worker post-COVID and the effects, PTSD and all that going through COVID has had on not just people in general, but also healthcare workers and doctors. So a very good show. Really glad I decided to watch it. Best show on TV? Not sure, but good show. So that's it. That's my review of The Pitt. If you haven't watched it, I suggest you watch it. I will be back soon, and I will catch you on the flip side. Leave me a like, subscribe, call me a genius, call me a moron. Just don't call me late for dinner. So do all that good stuff. Click the bell. It'll leave you a notification next time I make a video. So thanks for that. See you next time.